We're like friends. I mean, we're sisters.
Sisters by blood, friends by choice.
Incredibly smart, intelligent, and funny.
Oh,
Correct.
Stories for days.
Mom, you're crashing out. I feel like, should we?
Do we want to talk about it right now?
We can talk about
Let's
it.
just let it flow.
Let it go. What the fuck? Good jeans.
Yeah.
Messy jeans.
What is up?
What's up?
What's new, bitch?
What's new, bitch?
What's cooking?
We're starting a podcast.
Yeah.
The name of our podcast is called Messy Jeans. Okay?
Wow, that was actually kind of good.
That was really good. And, you know, it seems pretty self-evident. Jeans, we are related.
Mm-hmm.
We share DNA.
Yeah.
And we're a little bit messy,
Very messy.
depending on who
Very
you ask.
messy.
I mean, we're pretty normal by worldly standards.
Yeah.
We're messy by Mormon standards.
Mm-hmm.
Messy by Mormon. That sounds like a
Messy by Mormon.
naughty by nature.
Oh my gosh, Messy by Mormon.
Messy.
What is that a brand for? What is that? Like, what product is that? Messy for Mormon.
It's a perfume. It's a perfume. It's a perfume that smells
Messy.
messy. We call that. That's our brand. It's every person's dream that 2 more white women are starting a podcast.
But listen, people have been wanting this. I feel like it's been in the zeitgeist.
Exactly.
for-
I'm pretty sure at least 50 people want this.
Yeah,
You know what? That's
definitely.
enough.
definitely.
That is all we need.
Like our home ward.
Exactly.
Like our home congregation.
That's a small ward.
I would love if they listened to this.
I know all those lurkers be like, these bitches. No, they would be like,
Sluts.
these brats. These heathens.
Sinners.
Sinners. Oh, that's such a good movie. Segue. We saw Sinners. Not together.
No, not together. I wasn't
Separately.
there. I wasn't invited.
No, I'm so sorry. Did see it with my daughters. But it is such a good movie.
Okay.
Loved it.
I know
You haven't seen it.
No.
I'm sorry.
I
So I
know-
guess we can't talk about it.
No, we can. I know nothing about it. One thing about me is I don't like to watch any trailers for movies
Yeah.
or read anything about it prior. So, but all I know is that Michael B. Jordan and Haley, oh gosh, what's her last name?
Steinfeld.
Oh my God.
So hot.
She is definitely one of my crushes. I
So hot.
crushes.
And Michael B. Jordan. So
Oh
hot.
my God.
And there's 2 of him.
I
2
love
of him in that movie. And it was just like, yeah, I won't give anything away, but my girls loved it, and we didn't know anything about the movie going into it.
Really?
The music is incredible, and it's amazing, yeah. So go see it.
Cool.
Okay, so who are we, and why are we doing this?
My name is Cindy, and I feel like my name is Cindy, and you said my name is Carly.
Oh, I'm
You know
so
what I mean?
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm
No, I just feel
so
like my name
sorry.
is Cindy, and I'm from California. I was born and raised there.
Yes, and you know what? Fun fact, so was I.
Shh.
You know why? Because we're sisters.
We
Yeah.
are sisters. How far apart are we in age?
We are 7 years apart. In a family of how many?
11 kids.
11 children.
So guess what I'm thinking? How many?
How many?
Because we are.
Sisters. Siblings.
We're gonna get it.
Okay.
We're gonna get
We're
used
gonna
to
get
this.
this.
We're gonna get so.
We're going to do it. We're going to do so good. Okay, so we were like, let's start a podcast. You know, we're funny. We have good chemistry. We have things to say. We have a lot of opinions. 0 answers. But we have a fun time, a hell of a time pretending like we do. We thought, why not share it with the world?
Yeah,
Because the world is going to listen.
they will. They will. Everybody wants to know what we're up to,
Everybody,
where we're going,
where are you going? Where
Mhm.
where will you
here
go?
and there,
And everywhere.
big,
Yes.
big or small.
Very small. And we have some fun things we're going to talk about. It's going to be kind of random, but try to stay culturally relevant. And Cindy's cat is about to knock over this mirror, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that.
Mhm.
And mostly this is going to be a lighthearted, fun podcast about some random things, but mostly it's going to be like Utah culture. We live in Utah, unfortunately, fortunately, however you feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Utah. We're not from Utah. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
And we're both divorced.
I never thought
Never.
that we would be saying that statement. Like, never in a million years.
Never.
Like, we kind of saw it coming with me. Definitely. Like,
Yeah. No.
it's kind of inevitable.
But, we both were raised Mormon and both left the church. And in the dating world now, post Mormon marriage, how long? And then we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna do some fun things before we start off some episodes. We're still trying to figure that out. But one of the things that we're gonna do is talk about things that are cunty, because as my followers know, I love the word cunt.
You do.
It is so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it for anything. You can say it in a negative way.
She's got range, honey.
A positive way, a fun way, a terrible way. So many things are cunty. You can be a cunt. Someone else is a cunt, but oh, she's a cunt. But good and bad, So today's cunt. So we're going to talk about things that are cunty, or someone who's a cunt, anything and everything. Like you said, she's got range.
Mm-hmm.
So today's cunty topic, and by the way, I need to give a shout out to Brandon. Brandon, one of my followers who gave me this idea, is that you should just talk about things that are cunty. And I was like, that is gold. Because
so gold.
I love that word. I'm sorry. You're going to hear that word a lot right now. I'm very sorry. But what is cunty today, Cindy?
Okay, so my cunty ass bob, that's actually not a bob, it's a bixie. It's a combination of a bob and a pixie. Okay.
I've never heard that word.
Yeah, so think Meg Ryan.
It is very Meg Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Julia Roberts once had a haircut like this.
It's
but
chic.
Yes, I chopped off all of my hair and it feels so good because I'm such a sweaty person. And
sweaty
so bitch. Just a lot of hair. We have a lot of hair.
Do have a
both
lot
of
of
us, hair. Both of us together, like the two of us. So yeah, I chopped it all off and it honestly feels fucking amazing. I feel so free.
And
I feel so free, and my back is feeling air on it again, and
it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
It's very cunty in the best way.
Thanks.
Today we're going to talk about divorce. Like we said, most episodes are not going to be very heavy, and this doesn't need to be very heavy, but this is very relevant for a lot of women, especially in Mormonism, ex-Mormonism, coming out of Mormonism. A lot of women question their marriages because once you don't have that foundation anymore, then what? Right? So, and I know there's probably a lot of Mormons that are like, oh my gosh, look at all these ex-Mormons. They leave the church and then their marriages fall apart. Yeah, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's your world is supposed to fall apart.
Yes, exactly. If you're leaving a religion like Mormonism, if you're born and raised in it and you're extremely committed to it, and you decide that you're gonna stop believing, or you've lost your faith, you've gone wayward, you've fallen off the deep end, yeah, shit is gonna be fucked. Your shit's gonna be rocked.
Absolutely rocked.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That is supposed to happen.
Yes.
Because now that Christ is no longer the rock of your redeemer, or whatever the fuck that phrase is. Do you know what I'm talking about? The rock of your redeemer. Isn't that a song? I don't think so.
I have blocked out so much. Have you?
I haven't. I feel like things come up and I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that.
For real. But I do want to ask, maybe the better question is to ask, which of your friends has never been divorced?
Let me think. Well, I have a couple of my good friends in California that are currently still married. Mm-hmm. But they still go to church, right? I won't get into their stories, but my friends now here in Utah, my circle of friends, I'm trying to think. Well, I have one friend who for sure is still married.
We'll see. No, I'm kidding. Totally.
Let's see. Well, shit.
No,
I've been divorced.
It is just permeating the streets of Utah.
It is.
I feel like
divorces in the streets.
But it makes me really happy when I hear that somebody's getting divorced. Is that so mean?
No. Divorce does not need to be a bad thing. And then clearly if someone is getting divorced, it means something's not working.
Yeah.
So good for them for being like, you know what? Let's end this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. Let's move forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's a breakup. Like a divorce is a breakup, just like any other breakup. It's often like more complex, maybe, or heavy, but yeah, I think it'll probably segue into what we're going to be talking about, but just what we thought about divorce before.
And so I have a bunch of questions we're going to ask each other, but so what word or images come to mind when you hear the word divorce before versus now? Like when you were Mormon, what images came to mind when you heard the word divorce? The D word.
Death, doom, destruction, stomachache,
despair.
Just
diarrhea.
The end of the world. Yeah. Diarrhea. Defecating. Yeah.
Defecation.
Dangerous.
So many D words.
Oh my God. Should we just keep going with that?
D words.
Dangerous. Diabolical. The devil. Divorce is the devil.
Divorce is the devil.
But isn't that so, it makes my heart hurt.
It's tragic.
Like how often we were told, and maybe it's changed now. I'm pretty far removed from, Mormonism and how they talk about divorce. I don't know. But I feel like I just thought that is like the worst thing that you could ever do. The worst, and when you bring the temple into it,
right? All
that shame. Yeah.
And so why is it, according to Mormons, the worst thing? And I'm not saying all Mormons think this way, but as myself, as a Mormon, why is it that divorce in the Mormon institution is so bad, especially when you are married to another Mormon?
Because of the covenants that we made. It's like, they're so serious. The covenant, it blows my mind, because now it's like, the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's the covenants, because getting married in the temple is basically like getting to God.
Yeah.
Within the Mormon church, Mormon doctrine, getting married in the temple is basically the last step on the stairway to having an eternal family, meaning you get to be with your family forever. And that's like it's called being sealed in the temple. You sit across the altar from your spouse and a bunch of your close family and friends. Random uncles and aunts you never really speak to are there. And you're dressed in your weird ass temple clothes, and you are making these covenants to God, angels, and these witnesses that you are going to bind together as a family unit and then bring forth spirits into the world. Hopefully, maybe, we'll see. And that's your family unit that you get to be with together forever, for eternity. And breaking that covenant is basically breaking that bond. That's why Mormon marriages are so significant and important within the institution. So within the institution, the divorce is seen as, not by all, but by some, many, as really shameful and bad. Like that's like the last resort. Did you feel that way as a Mormon?
Yeah, absolutely. When I really think about why there's so much fear instilled in, Mormon marriages, like that it can't end, that you've got to be committed, is because like the church needs that. The church like needs you to commit. And a family unit, it's just more servants, it's just more people to do a lot of free labor.
The women especially.
Yes.
You need to seal the women to the men so that the men can go on and have the power. They can get their planets, and then the women are contractually obligated to birth spirit babies in perpetuity for the rest of eternity, however long that is, forever.
Shout out Severance.
And that is basically it. And if you break that bond, then it's like, well, then what? Then you cease to exist. I mean, no, you no longer have a family forever. Yeah, that's a stronghold of fear to have over people. and it works.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
So, next question. If your divorce was a movie, what would the title of it be?
You go first.
Mine would be That Escalated Quickly. Did you feel that way about my divorce?
Yes. I remember you coming over before we went out one night, and my mirror was right over there, and you were doing your makeup, and you're like, I think I'm getting a divorce. And I was shocked.
Yeah. It was very quick. I was married for 20 years, by the way. You were married
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, still a long time either way. And you have how many kids?
2.
2 kids. I have 4 kids. Just as I was leaving the church, it was very quickly.
Yeah.
I do that in my life. I do that with lots of things in my life. It's very like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
I feel like I'm kind of like that
Yeah.
too, though. Like, that was me when I was like, yeah, I'm getting divorced.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yours was very, yeah. So that escalated quickly is the title of my divorce movie.
Uh-huh.
What's the title of your movie?
The Kiss of Death.
The Kiss of Death. Because when did you decide you were getting a divorce?
When I was in rehab.
Take it away, sis.
That one time, I was in rehab.
That one time at rehab?
One time, one of my roommates in rehab called it trauma camp because neither of us were there for addiction reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so she called it trauma camp. So yeah, when I was in, and it makes a lot of sense. Like when I went in there, I had no intention of getting a divorce, but you know, the whole entire experience was such a mind fuck. And so yeah, one of those things that had to go was my marriage. So
yeah. And you decided to leave the church at the same time?
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, just for like funsies. And then Dad was diagnosed with cancer 2 months later.
Very shortly after, and then died.
Yeah.
6 months later. Yeah.
It was a time.
Fun times. That was also very quickly and rocked a lot of worlds.
Yeah.
Shocking. And but you know when it's like when you feel it, you just know, and you're like, it's gotta happen. And as much as it sucks for both parties, for your kids, you can't make it work if your heart is not in it.
Wasn't that such a sobering feeling though? Just that like knowing inside of you, just growing and growing and becoming louder and louder and louder.
Mm-hmm.
And it is heavy. It is heavy to realize, oh my goodness, like I need to end this. I can't be in this anymore.
And here's the kicker. Both of our exes are good people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sucks.
Yeah.
That's what sucked about the whole thing.
Yes. For sure. Yeah, in your most recent Substack, like when you were talking about that, I was like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
To divorce a good person, and just like the conversations that you guys would have, it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I think we both make it a point not to share a ton about them.
Yeah, our ex, because this is about us, first of all. No, I'm kidding. I mean, yeah, it is, but like our exes are good people.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, nothing negative to say about my ex.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great dad, great person. So when we talk about our divorces, it's not necessarily something negative about them specifically. It's just we were both raised Mormon women, and got married very young. How old were you when you got married?
I was 24.
Okay.
But
you were old as fuck.
basically 18 in my mind.
In your mind, yes, but you're basically 50.
But very
in
old. Yeah, I know. It's so funny when I tell people that. They're like, oh,
I don't know. It's very young.
oh, actually.
But you know what? Your brain was still not fully developed.
No, it wasn't. And yours?
I was
even
20.
less.
I was 20 years old when I got married. I was such a baby. Such a baby. And, you know, it's really not the best time to be making eternal commitments.
No.
That young. Or ever.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
I don't think we should ever make eternal
it's just
commitments.
not a thing, especially when so much is unknown.
It's just not on brand for us.
It's not. It should
Yeah.
not be on brand for anybody, really.
No.
No. Especially when so much of the doctor is like, you're going to find out when you die. You're going to find out the answers to that when you die. So much of that happens within Mormonism.
It's just future tripping.
It is.
It's just taking you out of the present moment.
It is. And
It really is. You know, some blessings don't come now. They'll come later. And it's
so shitty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does keep you
Outside of body.
out of your body and living for a life you cannot see.
Yeah.
Instead of being in the present moment and experiencing life as it is now.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I think they push, you know, for you to get married pretty young so they can,
like,
they
listen,
got you. They trapped you.
We don't want you getting smart on us.
We don't want you developing just period.
Critical thinking.
Stop
At all.
developing.
Just stop developing. Yes. Mentally, especially.
Yes.
Mentally,
yes.
especially. Do not develop an identity outside of yourself, outside of this religion, outside of your spouse. You are to be one with each other, one with this church, one with God. And man, that fucks you up.
It like makes my stomach turn.
Because when you are so enmeshed with this person, when you get married so young, and like we said earlier, and the foundation of your relationship is this religion, and then you discover, you leave the church and you're like, okay, what is the foundation of our relationship? If it's not the church, what the fuck is it? Then you have to figure that out. Is it attraction? Is it romance? Is it friendship? And like, or is it none of that, right? And that is a hard thing to come to terms with for a lot of people. And it's only natural that, that relationship is going to end if you don't have that foundation anymore.
Well, and I'm sure that you can relate to this, but for me, and again, it has nothing to do with the person that I was with. It was just the fact that I married my first kiss. But marriage in general felt very compulsory. It felt very forced in a lot of ways for me because, you know, of the conditioning, you know, the brainwashing that I had within me, the programming. But
yeah, because it's not like anybody was saying to you specifically at that moment in your life, Cindy, it's time to get married. You have to get married. But no, it's just something you felt deep down.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like,
right.
That was what you were conditioned to believe.
Yeah. And I just, first of all, I wasn't taught what a healthy relationship was, and I wasn't shown that, and there's just so much vagueness too about marriage, and I mean, we can get into the sex of it all.
Yeah, like you shoot the sex of it all.
That is
of it all.
I feel like that messes with your psyche a lot. Like that affects so much because that is a huge change when you get married in the temple, and it is, I mean, a vital component of existing.
Yep, it is. And it's crazy because when you are raised Mormon, it's like, don't think about sex, don't think about sex, don't talk about sex, don't look at sex, don't feel sex.
Don't smell it.
Don't sex it, don't sex at all. And then you get married and it's like, and go.
Yeah.
And sex.
Yeah. I remember, I feel like you told me a book to read. What was it? Something like...
and they were not ashamed, or it was like something like
her first. This is something like...
She comes first, or something like that. Mom gave me that book.
Yeah.
Mom, and you know what? Looking back, it was actually a pretty good book. Like it did teach me a lot about... It was like respectful and making sure that like both spouses are enjoying it. It was good overall.
Yeah.
But it was still very Mormon.
Yeah. And very narrow.
Very narrow. Very like one eye single to the glory of Mormon sex. And so, I mean, we can talk about however much you want, but it's when you don't have a lot of or any experience with sex, then it's like, what, you don't have anything to compare it to. You don't know what is normal, what is healthy, how are you supposed to be feeling. And especially for Mormon women, you're not even taught, or like, not that it's the church's job to teach that, but they do talk about sex a lot implicitly, like not to think about it. It's very much shamed before you're married. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Don't do it with other people. But especially for women, it's almost as if like women don't have sex. Like women do not think about sex.
Yeah.
Women have no sex drives at all, period. Women don't masturbate. Right?
Yeah. I remember this one time, my friend, it was maybe at like a church, maybe Mutual, which is like a weekly activity that Mormon youths would go to. And there was I guess there was this discussion of masturbation or something. And yeah, it was all about like the boys and whatever. And my friend was like, I would never. Like I would, oh, that's so gross. And like that stuck with me so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I mean,
what do you think we are? We're just like, it's just like sewn up down there. Like
crazy. It's crazy. Obviously men run this church. Obs. Men run this church. They don't know that women masturbate and they like it. You know? And sometimes women learn how to masturbate at a very young age, like I did.
You did.
And I did my whole life. And it was
amazing to me, though.
I really did. And it was not ever something that I realized was like wrong or that should be shameful, because I learned to do it at such a young age, probably when I was 4. And
which is totally normal.
It is so normal
behavior for a 4-year-old.
Extremely normal. And we don't have to get too much into it, but I never confessed that to my bishop or anything. I never told my ex-husband that I did it because, number one, it just felt, it's none of their business. And it's just something that I have been doing for my whole life. Why do I need to confess?
That is so you.
That is so me.
You.
Okay, explain what you mean, but that is so you.
Because you have just always had this really confident way about going about life. And even though, yes, you were raised in the Mormon religion, and we were raised in the same family, but 11 kids, so there's a lot of room for unique experiences. And to me, you were just always like, I'm gonna do what I want, and yeah, like
fuck
that's what you just were so confident. And like my experience is so opposite. Like I discovered it when I was in my first year of college. Poor thing,
sweetie.
that showerhead though.
Poor baby, that showerhead.
and then I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what it was.
Wow.
And then I was like, wait, I think that I'm doing something wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, and then I just like shamed myself for months and months and months and months and like.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah. And then when I decided to go on a mission, I was like, I have to stop doing this because I'm not allowed to do it on my mission. Like, I have to stop doing this or else I'm going to have to like talk to somebody about it. So glad I didn't. But for you were like, fuck that. Like, I'm 4 years old and I am going to feel whatever I want to feel.
Yeah. And maybe it's my birth order.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I was one of the oldest.
Yeah.
And as one of the oldest in a large family, you have to learn to be hyper independent, because not only do you need to take care of yourself, and not that our parents weren't there for us and as best as they could have been. It's just that when you have that many kids, it is not possible to be attentive emotionally, individually, at the level that each of your kids need, right? It's just not possible. And that's no shame on our parents, on my mother. She did the best she could. We love her, okay? But I was one of the oldest, and I had a lot of younger siblings that I also needed to care for. So it was like, yes, my mom did the best she could. She was there for me. She cared for me and tried to be attentive. And also, I felt like, okay, I can't, and this is only something I learned recently, but I needed to learn to take care of myself, take care of my own shit, and keep it all in and not complain too much, because mom's busy, dad's busy, right? You on the other hand are younger. You are one of the younger kids. So that's a very different experience. So you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I just felt like I was constantly just running around and like crying, looking for someone to be like, somebody help me, like someone help me, someone guide me, and I didn't know what to make of my emotions, and I didn't. So Yeah, and there just was, a lot of dysfunction. And any huge family is going to be dysfunctional. That's my opinion. But yeah.
I mean, but I will say we all turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
But our siblings are amazing. They're all very smart. I mean, funny, very intelligent, very good, compassionate, kind people. So as dysfunctional as it was for different siblings on different levels, we all turned out fairly well. And so I will just say that. But I just don't want our mom to listen to this and be like, oh, we love you, Mom.
No,
just know that
we're like the coolest fucking people in
we are cool as fuck
ever.
We are. No, seriously. Like when we get together with our siblings, like nobody is funnier than us.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but nobody's funnier than us. We joke all day long. So moving back to divorce topic.
Yes.
With the little masturbation sidebar. What was the moment that you knew it was over? And I guess that was in rehab.
And it was a very specific moment that I won't get into all the details. My ex-husband and I had an interaction while I was in rehab. So obviously over the phone because I was in Arizona and he was in Utah. And something about that interaction just made me realize, oh, I don't want to be married. I don't want to have to answer to someone to feel like they have any say over what I do or...
Yeah. No, I'm feeling that so hard right now. I am feeling that so much right now. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm just thinking about my own moment. I don't even know if it was one moment specifically, but I felt that so much, especially after I turned 40. I don't know, something shifted. And then my oldest daughter, Cadence, right? She turns 18.
Same year.
Same month. And it was the year that it was our 20-year anniversary. So, nice, round, even numbers. And it just seemed like everything came to like a head for me. And I'm looking at her. And she's great and amazing, and she's living her life, right? And I wrote this in my Substack, but it just seemed that I was looking at her as if it was me in a parallel universe, and one in which Carly was not Mormon, not raised Mormon, and not that I regret even being Mormon, because I am who I am because of that, a lot of that, but it was just she was living free in her mind, free in her body. Free to be, right?
She was a mirror.
A mirror, yes.
A total mirror for you.
It was. And it fucked me up. I didn't even realize that was happening. But same, just that whole year, I just felt I want to know what it's like to just think my own thoughts and answer to myself and be my own person and know who I am outside of all of these roles that were forced upon me, what I felt like were forced upon me. Not by anybody specifically, but again, it's the culture, it's the air you breathe, it's the water you drink when you're raised Mormon. You are constantly looking outside of yourself to answer life's biggest questions and make life's biggest decisions. It's never about what do you want? What do I want? It's about what does God want? What does the bishop want? What do my parents want? What do my siblings want from me? Especially in a big family, especially when you're very enmeshed family. It's constant thinking about what other people want for your life, not what you want for your life. And it's all mostly through men.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
God is a man. Jesus is a man. The Holy Ghost is a man. Your husband is a man. And every decision you ever made is through the lens of a man. And there just came a moment I said, I need to know what Carly thinks.
Honestly, I'm so surprised how long you lasted in a marriage. Just with how independent you are. Like, and again, yeah, I don't have to keep repeating.
Yeah.
But truly, like, you held it together so tightly for a long, long time. Like, you just were, and I've said this, like, you used to be a lot more tightly wound.
I was.
And
Very
because
much
you were
so.
trying to keep everything together and taking a lot of like responsibility
Yeah.
for a lot
Yeah.
in your family.
I really did feel that way. I felt like, being older, being one of the oldest, I just felt like, oh, Carly has to be the responsible one, the thoughtful one, the rational one, the logical one. Don't be messy, don't make mistakes, because like then your siblings are looking up to you, other Mormons are looking, like, it's just that thing, that sense that you, even as an ex-Mormon, don't mess up too much because people are looking to your example of how to like leave the church well, leave it safely, leave it in a healthy way. And so I did really feel respectfully, and yeah, I felt a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I turned 40 and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And that is
I was so proud.
that is the beautiful thing though about turning 40, is that you give so fewer fucks. You give,
If you're lucky. If you are lucky
to
to be able to have that mindset freely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there just came a moment when I thought, yeah, I'm done. And of course it's so hard. Of course it is hard. You have 4 kids, you've built this whole life together, and he's a good person, but there was something missing, and it was so hard to name it or define it, or think it, when you never really allowed yourself to think those thoughts. But yeah, I felt the same way. It's just, what does Cindy want? What does Carly want? And we've never been able to ask ourselves that.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because when I decided that I wanted to get a divorce, I don't know if I was giving a ton of thought to like, I want to do what I want, but I guess in a way I was. I was in rehab with nobody that was Mormon, and I was already questioning the church at that point. Like, I remember it was a very big thing. Like, I didn't bring any garments to rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, in 115-degree weather in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
middle of the summer. But because I kind of just chose to walk in and kind of shed that part of me a little bit and just see like what's underneath there. Like, who's the girl underneath
Literally,
all of that?
metaphorically.
Yeah, exactly. And I just started realizing, oh, I really want to experience more. I want to have more experiences because, again, I married my first kiss, like my first relationship.
Yeah.
And I know so many women can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was like, I don't want to live my life not experiencing other people.
Yeah.
And again, it's nothing to do with him. It's just the matter. It's just the facts. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a normal thing to be wrestling with if you have only ever been with one person your entire life.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you marry so young and you never really got to develop your own identity before you got married to them.
Yeah.
That's especially significant within Mormonism.
Yeah.
You don't really get to develop your own identity outside of the church or your spouse before you get married. And that makes it really hard when you decide, this isn't for me anymore. Now what? What was something that was easier than you thought it would be, like during the divorce process, or maybe deciding divorce or after? Like, what was something that was easier than you thought it would be?
I think just moving on from that connection with that person. I think it does matter that, I was the person who drove that decision. So when I like came home, I already decided, and like any sort of romantic feeling that I maybe had once had with this person, even though, looking back, I feel like it was distorted just because of my lack of experience and the fact that I hadn't worked through any sort of like childhood trauma that I had been through. It just, when I got home, it was like, that was never there ever again. And so that blew my mind, just kind of, oh,
yeah,
I'm just
I wanna say same, but then I feel bad for saying that because we were married for 20 years
Yeah.
and I don't, but I think it really speaks to how long I had been feeling that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
There's
know?
such a thing as stuffing things
Yeah.
down and then
Mhm.
things boil over and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about, we kind of both have this thing where if we really, I feel like we know ourselves really well,
Mhm.
I would say. And so when we know something is like
Yeah.
right for us or wrong for us,
Yeah.
we feel it really deep in our bones.
Mhm.
And yeah, it bubbles up for a long time. And it was for me as
Mhm.
well. And so it wasn't just like oh, I think I'm just gonna like end this 20-year.
Yeah, you know what? Roll the dice.
You know what? Actually, just kidding.
JK. LOL JK. That was the title.
Psych.
That was the title of one of my substacks about divorce. For time and now eternity. LOL. Never mind.
Yep.
But yeah, that's I feel the same way, and we had a good friendship, but I realized that was not enough to sustain a romantic relationship, and it's and that connection wasn't too difficult to sever. And I sound like such a bitch for saying that, but also it meant that, hey, it's selfish of me to stay in this marriage if I am not committed to it, especially if you could find someone that you can have a better connection with and really feel that.
Yeah, and I feel like it has to be at least one of you that is like really confident in the decision. Because I don't know, for me, and I know you feel the same way, but the in-between stage of a insanely major life decision, like once you really start questioning something, and it was the same with the church, same with divorce, and thinking like, oh, if I really know this is not right for me, then continuing on or kind of just like forcing myself, that is sickening to me.
It feels like your
Dying.
soul is ripping in half.
Yeah.
You're trying to live two lives.
Yeah.
And it's not ever going to work because you know that this part of you wants to move on so badly.
Yeah.
But then the other part of you is still hanging on to this life that you were living before. And you can't reconcile the two. And it's really hard. Who are you now that you weren't before the divorce? Do you love that question?
I love that question. I'm a whore.
All right. What is a whore? What is a whore by Mormon standards?
Listen. By Mormon standards?
Okay,
having sex with multiple people, having sex with multiple different partners at the same time.
At the same, like an orgy?
No, but that is on my bucket list. For real.
Baby.
Let me know if you're down. Not you.
We will not be having sister orgies. I'm sorry. We are not at that level.
We would make so much money.
But you know what? If you are at that level and it's consensual, more power to you. People are going to be like, what the fuck?
We're very nuanced and we're very evolved.
We're very sex positive.
We're very
no kink
progressive when it comes to our sexual organs. Familial or not. Oh my God, let's not get into it.
Okay, so Mormon standards.
Yes.
It's just having sex outside of marriage, period.
Yes.
Even with one person in a committed relationship.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But that was such a, like, having my sexuality stuffed down for so long and then being like, oh my God, I'm not tied to these these purity standards or being secretive about sex, or I can literally go out and experience whatever. And it definitely lended itself to a lot of impulsivity on my part because of inexperience. But I've learned. I got through, didn't get any diseases.
What's your body count? No, I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that.
I honestly do not know. I honestly
And girl, that's okay.
do not know.
And girl, that's okay. That is okay. Somebody asked that on one of my NGL Anonymous questions. They're like, what's your body count? And I was like, it's definitely between 1 and 500. I know people hate that answer. It's less than 500 and more than 1.
Yeah.
So good luck.
But that was like, honestly, so fun.
I bet.
It was so much fun. I remember the first time, though, the first person that I had sex with after we decided that we were going to get a divorce. Oh my God, it was bad. It was really, really bad. But I kind of was like, I need to just get this over with.
You got to experience it.
I need to get this over with. And like, his equipment wasn't working.
Oh.
So I was like, what's wrong with me? I'm ugly. And I'm like, whoa. Calm down.
Calm down, bitch.
But anyway, then it just kind of took off from there and
Yeah.
went strong for a couple
I remember
years.
you told me a lot about your escapades. And at the time, I was ex-Mormon still at the time, but even still, I was clutching my pearls. Like,
were you really?
I was low-key. That just shows just how much I was still so buttoned up and so uptight. And
crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And but I'm just like, I'm still being judgmental.
What about you, though? What's one thing that you are now that you weren't when you were Mormon? You're married.
What is one thing that I am now that I was not before I was married? A little bit of a whore, too. But in a different way. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't know how much I want to get into that here. That's okay. But discovering exhibitionism. But as in like a safe way. In like an online way.
Yes.
And that's all.
Love.
Leave that there. But
yes.
It was, wow, it was so freeing and such a learning experience. And I know this sounds so cliche. It is such a cliche thing for a woman in her 40s leaving a hegemon religion in her marriage and being like, I feel so sexually liberated by showing my body off. I know. Okay, so just shut the fuck up. But it is true.
The trope is very accurate.
It is very accurate. And that is for a reason.
As you should.
As you should.
As you should.
And it is never in your wildest dreams did you ever think I would do something like that.
No, and it's funny because I was clutching my pearls a little bit.
Are you really?
Yeah, I was. I was a little bit, even though I was a whore and I was
even some of my friends were. And that's okay.
But I was kind of like, you know, but so funny. But like, obviously I got over that very quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
I know it's crazy because you grow up with someone and you know who they were before.
Yeah.
And you've been along with them with these different identities and you're seeing them behave in ways you never expected, in ways that you're not currently behaving. And it's like, oh, I don't know how to handle this. What do I do? What do I say? I still want to be accepting and not judgmental. I love her. She's my sister. But like,
we could say the same thing for one another at different points in our lives. And that's why I love our relationship so much, is because it has withstood the test. Withstood? No.
Yeah, withstood the test of time.
The test of time. And we've just seen each other through so many different eras.
And different versions of ourselves.
And different facial structures. And like... Can you believe the difference of how our faces look? Like,
is that crazy?
When we were like say like
Mormon?
5-6 years ago.
I know. I look at past pictures of myself and I'm like, not that I was ugly. None of us were ugly.
No.
It's just there's something different.
Yeah,
about our faces.
I always call it like Mormon cortisol face, kind of.
Yeah, Mormon cortisol face for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. You're holding a lot of spiritual guilt,
shame.
You're holding a lot of spiritual guilt and shame in your face, your body, your mind. And it really does affect how you look. And I know people are like, oh, Mormons have the special countenance. I mean, like, all right, maybe that's just water weight, babe.
Seriously, like, we were just getting started.
We were just getting started.
You were cooking, you know? We were cooking, and now...
I know, I look back on pictures of myself, and I was like, wow. I mean, she's cute. She's cute, but she
She's
ain't
not
hot.
you though.
She's not me.
Yeah. Both of us, it's like someone's trapped in there.
Yes.
Someone's trapped in there.
The hotter,
Like the dead
freer
eyes.
versions of ourselves.
Yes.
The dead eyes. Yeah.
Dead. I had dead eyes
Mm-hmm.
when I was still Mormon,
Yeah.
still married.
Yeah. It's funny now because, you know, you look at pictures of herself now. And I mean, personally, I look at pictures of you and she's glowing. Like, she looks beautiful, radiant. And like some people have said the same about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but that's not supposed to happen, right? Because we don't have the countenance,
Yeah.
his image in our countenance anymore. So it's just the spirit of the devil, I guess.
Yeah. We're drinking the blood of the...
Yes, they're drinking the blood of Christ. No, not anymore. The blood of the new moon, or
drinking semen. No.
oh, TMI. No, it's fine. What's one small but powerful freedom you didn't know you were missing?
The simple act of flirting or
Yeah.
charming people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Being yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree. No, there's something just fun about it.
Yeah, just and not only
Not that you want to fuck everybody you flirt with.
no, not at all, but just the excitement of human interaction and because for me, leaving the church and getting divorced are like very woven together. And my experiences following both of those events, I mean, there's a lot of overlap, tons of overlap. So for me, it was like, oh wow, I can walk into a room and feel confident enough to talk to anyone. And yeah, I can be charming, I can be witty, and I don't have to like temper myself. I don't have to, you know, stuff my personality down. I don't know, just the simple freedom to make connections with other people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Knowing your likes, dislikes, and not just in a sexual way, but in a lot of ways. It's, again, figuring out who you are outside of this relationship that you had, especially if it's been a long one. And being like, oh, if I do this, then I have to talk to this person. And that's fine in a marriage. Like, that's a partnership. That's fine. And that is what you're supposed to do in a partnership. But when you've never had that ability to really learn that before you get married, that really feels like something new and something freeing, where, oh, I'm going to make this decision. And is this right for me? Do I feel like it's right? I don't need to talk to this person about it. It's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't have to answer to anyone anymore.
Answer to anybody.
Like, that was a big thing for you.
It was. It was. I just...
Simple freedom.
Why can't I just answer to myself? And I know that's not really how human relationships work all the time. And I remember my therapist saying that to me. But also, I just want to know what that's like a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up soon with a quick little lightning round. Dating apps. Love, hate, or necessary evil? And you have way more experience with dating apps than I do.
Entertainment.
And if you've all seen it on our Instagram, you know that it is highly entertaining. And I was only on the apps for a minute, and it was very interesting and entertaining.
Scary.
And incredibly overwhelming. Yes, very scary.
Yeah.
I was like, this? This is it?
Yeah.
This is...
I have no desire to go on a date from a dating app. I just do not. I just do not. I need to meet someone in person. Like, I just can't do it.
I won't get into it too much, but I personally probably don't need dating apps. I have Instagram. And I'm sorry, but it is true. But it's not like it's
such a flex.
I'm sorry, but I do.
No, don't say sorry.
Not sorry.
But not even just for people who like have, you know, a substantial following. A lot of people actually meet on
true.
Instagram.
Yeah, people do meet on Instagram.
Yeah, like I went on a date from a guy that started following me on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter was telling me that. Yeah, people like stalk each other's Instagrams. For dates. Like,
it is actually kind of a dating.
It is
now. But that's kind of where you started to find some connections.
Yeah.
Was through your Instagram kind of post.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have found some good connections.
Yeah.
It's been fun. And yeah, maybe I'll talk about that in a future episode. Intrigue. Stay tuned. Okay, so what was your first divorced woman purchase? Like, you moving out, you're on your own. Like, what did you like buy? It could be anything random. Like, what was it?
Yeah. The TV
A TV.
that my daddy bought me.
Oh, Dad, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Did we tell you as our dad is dead?
He's so dead.
What was my first divorced woman purchase? My ex and I separated months before we were actually divorced, but I moved out into my own place, and it was probably a mattress. I need something to sleep on.
I have the same mattress that I had when I was married.
Oh, that's right.
But it is a really
nice one.
mattress.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Don't say the brand name, because if we get deals, then we will advertise the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine was a mattress, and then I just got a lot of shit off Facebook Marketplace. A gold mine for divorcees.
It was so cute. Like, watching you decorate your apartment, like, it honestly brought me so much joy to, like, and not cute in like a condescending way, but just like seeing you. Yeah, you're getting pots, and you're getting you're getting secondhand furniture, and you were just excited. Like, I could tell you were just so excited to kind of just meet yourself.
Yes.
Again, and to I feel like I did that. When I first got separated, I was living in a sober living facility, so I did not get to purchase many things.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but following that, yeah, just thrifting, like, home decor stuff. So fun.
Okay. Best breakup song of all time.
Plan B by Megan Thee Stallion.
Plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've heard that song.
I won't sing, or I could rap. I could sing the whole thing, but I won't because of copyright issues. But yeah, the lyrics to that, it's so good. It's so good. It's basically like, I'm popping Plan Bs because I don't plan to be stuck with you.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's quite the motto.
Can't believe I used to let you fuck with me.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's funny because my thought was wet ass pussy, WAP, and it's. Not that I'm like
Stallion and Cardi B.
Yes. Yeah. It's not that I'm like technically living that life, but I'm just like, that seems like it just goes.
Love that song so much.
I love that
that came out when we were more Mormon. I mean, years and years ago.
No, I think it came out. I was no longer Mormon, but I think you were.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I feel like
I was like.
Yeah, because I remember a lot of people were clutching their pearls on Facebook about it, and I was like, get over yourselves, you guys.
Love it.
It's the best song ever.
That's a great song.
Worst advice you received during your divorce?
I've thought about this one. So, when I was in rehab, and when, my ex-husband and I had that discussion, and then word kind of started getting around to friends and family at home. And I had this former friend who was very, very involved in the church, like worked for the church, everything. She sent me this text when I was in rehab. And I like never forgot it, but she just was like, nothing is worth losing these blessings, and nothing is worth this. Like, you're making the biggest mistake of your life, and I'm saying this to you because I love you. And I just was like, ew.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of projection.
Ew.
She's projecting her greatest fears on you.
Yeah, and immediately said, how dare you?
Bye.
Never speak to me again.
Bye.
We have never spoken.
Girl, bye. And that's
so the advice to hold on to blessings, I guess, to do it for the blessings.
Fear-mongering. No, nothing is worth it. I'm sorry. Abuse?
I'm
sorry. What if you're being abused?
Yeah.
Sorry, what if your ex tries to kill you? I'm sorry. Nothing is worth that?
Crazy, though, because I know people in real life that would even justify, being abused in a Mormon marriage. I'm thinking about a very specific interaction, but I won't get into it. But yeah, so crazy. That's heavy. But
worst advice I received. You know what? It's funny because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I barely even talked to anybody about my divorce.
So classic.
I know.
Classic.
Such a classic Harley. I keep things in. I keep things private. I'm like, it's nobody's goddamn business.
Well, I only talked to you, though.
Yeah, you did only talk to me when you're in.
Because you were like the only person besides my ex-husband that was calling.
I was like the liaison.
Yep.
But I really did not talk to anybody about it. I mean, I talked to my mom, and my mom was as supportive as she could. Like, initially, she was obviously shocked. I mean, just as with me leaving the church, nobody saw this coming, right?
Yeah.
Not a single person. We seemed like we had a great relationship. We seemed like we were really active in the church, right? Same kind of thing. And nobody saw it coming, so I was very careful about who I spoke to about it.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke to me, but like we were at the point where like we both recognize we don't need to give unsolicited advice to one another.
Yeah.
So I was
you're not giving me advice. No. So I really did not. I mean, I talked to a couple friends, and they were very great. They were not offering me unsolicited advice either. And a couple of my other friends, I mean, they were all supportive. But like, as far as that goes, I didn't even while going through the divorce, where it was like, okay, this is for sure what we're doing. I've moved out. I'm moving. We're moving on. I still barely talked to any of my siblings about it. All 10 of them. I only spoke to a few, and a few that I chose very specifically that I knew would be the least judgmental and most supportive and very compassionate, and they were. And they did not give me, only unless I asked, but really I didn't really receive any like unsolicited bad advice. And maybe because I think on some level people are scared of me.
Yes. I'm scared of you sometimes. Going back to just you have a confident way of making decisions. So I think that there's little room to question you, which I think is a really great quality.
Yeah, but then it can be unhealthy.
Yeah. There's that. There is that. But, okay, what you just said, though, did remind me, a family member, okay, a piece of advice that I got, and this was, very beginning stages, was demanding to know the reason why I was getting divorced. And was basically saying like it was like a moral obligation.
Yes.
To tell people why I was getting a divorce.
And you know what? This same person also demanded to know why I was leaving the church, and that it was my moral obligation to tell everybody the exact reasons why.
It was just for their comfort.
Yeah. And I get it. And this person was not meaning it in a mean way. We know this person and we love them.
Yeah.
It's just their personality.
Yeah.
But on that topic, nobody has the right, other than you and your ex-spouse, and like your kids if you want to bring them into it, if they're old enough.
You don't have a responsibility. You're not obligated to tell anyone.
You do not owe anybody outside of you and your ex-spouse the reasons why you're getting divorced. Nobody knows the details of your relationship, your marriage, the details of your divorce, other than you and your ex-spouse, and those are the only two people who need to know.
The way I would judge people for getting divorced before I got divorced, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like, nobody's going to tell me shit. Like, yeah, I'm making this decision. And I think Mormonism kind of breeds that, to think like, you must confess. You must confess the reasons why you're making this life altered.
Because it's sinful.
Yeah.
But no, you don't owe anybody shit.
But it's like, is it really gonna matter if you tell people the reason?
No, it does not matter. People are gonna judge you no matter what. And even if you don't tell them, they're gonna make up their own reasons. And even if you do tell them, they're gonna make up other reasons.
And I mean, and we're not talking about like intimate conversations with like close friends where you're, but just, you're not just gonna tell the Joe Schmo.
Yeah. So it's like
peanut gallery.
Take care of yourself. Worry about yourself. It's already stressful. You don't need to worry about the opinions of others that you don't care about.
Oh, that's a really good point, because I feel like that was on my mind a lot. I'm like, this is already so hard, and I have to focus on myself and my girls, and like I don't have any room for anyone to try to drag me down because of this decision.
Yes.
I just don't. I physically cannot handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I will end it all.
End it all. And that reminds me, that is one of the texts that I sent to one of my sisters that I did talk to about this. And I just said, hey, I said, can you basically act as the intermediary? She's amazing. She's my older sister. She's very compassionate. And I chose her specifically. And she offered help. And she was great and wonderful. And I said, hey, here's basically the gist of what's going on. You can send this out to whoever. Again, when you have a lot of siblings, you just don't have the time or energy to go one by one and be like, here's what's happening, here's what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, hey, here is what's going on. We're getting a divorce, and here's where I am at currently. I'm okay mentally. I'm holding it together. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not sleeping around. I am of sound mind, and also all I need right now from any siblings who can offer it is emotional support. And I said, if they can't offer that, can you please tell them not to reach out to me?
That's the way I said the same thing.
I know.
When I came home from rehab.
I'm like, good on you. And I remember that.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's so smart
mm-hmm.
of you to do that. You were protecting yourself.
Yes, you have to. And I said, all I can do right now is focus my energy on my kids and myself.
Yeah.
That's all I have time and energy for. I cannot worry about how other people are feeling about this.
There's one thing about Carly is that is which understandably because of the way we grew up, but feeling like other people's emotions are your responsibility.
I can't. I don't have time for that. I can't. I mean,
understandable.
At some points, yes, I want to like care about other people's emotions, but when it's me going through such a hard time, I'm like, I can't worry about how.
Yes, you were used to that.
Yeah, I was.
You were used to that, so it's you're good about protecting yourself in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it was very. Yeah, I could just exactly because we were very enmeshed. What's one thing you would tell your past self at the start of this journey?
Of getting a divorce?
Yeah,
I would tell myself you should be using condoms with everybody.
It's good advice.
You should always use a condom. Okay.
Wrap it up.
Yep. Even no matter how free-spirited you are feeling on top of the world, that does need to be a priority. Get tested regularly.
Yes.
Make that a part of your habit. Yeah.
I have learned. I did learn this. If you have a new sexual partner within the past 3 months, you need to be retested, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like if you are having a new sexual partner within the last 3 months, yeah, you should be getting tested like as often as you're getting a new partner, like every few months. That's really good advice.
What would you tell yourself?
What would I tell my past self at the start of my divorce process? Basically, like, girl, you don't need to stress so much. Like, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. All this uncertainty and anxiety you're feeling is normal, but it's also a kind of a waste of time. The legal process will work itself out. It's stressful, yes, but it's going to work out. You're going to be okay. And because, yeah, it's really, really hard. And like I've heard this a lot, the process of divorce sucks ass, but being divorced is awesome. It's great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's very true.
So that kind of wraps it up as far as the divorce topic goes. You've talked about it on your Substack a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask one last question. Yeah. Would you ever get married again?
No.
Me either.
I would not. I don't think so. But then I'm also like, never say never.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know, but
because people ask that,
people do ask that,
and I think spending so much of our lives being so focused on marriage, it's just like very unappealing to me. Yeah. And also getting divorced sucks. It sucks.
So
no matter how amicable you are.
It sucks so bad. And it's really it's so much of it is just dividing assets and like so much logistics that are it's such a pain and it's such a mess.
To be legally tied to someone.
Yeah.
It's just
and then to untie that is a huge mess.
Yeah. This was so much fun.
It's so fun. I loved this. And I feel like we have so much more to offer in terms of this podcast and what we can talk about. And we're really excited about this journey.
Yes.
And
I'm so excited.
I love you. And
I love you too. Were you talking to me or the audience?
I love you guys.
I love things about you.
I love some aspects of you.
We are going to have so much fun.
We're going to have a lot of
so much fun. And thank you guys so much for listening.
Make sure you like, you subscribe, you rate, and review. Okay?
Follow us on all social media platforms.
Messy_jeans on Instagram and TikTok. Messy Jeans on Substack. We're kind of rolling that all in together. Substack is a great platform to kind of post a bunch of different things. You can both follow us there individually and on our podcast, Messy Jeans. And we're excited.
It's been real, guys. See you next time.
Bye.